Okay, well this is basically a very basic introduction on how to paint a dragon on an RC car body. And I'm being assisted by a great cameraman. So the first thing that we want to do is we just want to very loosely rough out the design on the outside. Right? It's really just a rough representation of where the body's going to go. Okay, and here, this is a TLR, no, so this is a Proline body. I was just given this body and asked to paint this. I can't remember what body this is. Anyways, but it's a very small two-wheel drive buggy body, and it's very long. So we're going to take advantage of that proportion, and we're going to make it a very snake-like dragon. So it's going to curl around the body, all the way around here, and then back, and then this little center fin here is where the tail is going to end. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see, but this is how we're going to rough it out. Now the next step is, we've done that on the outside, and I used a permanent pen. You can use a felt tip pen as well. I actually prefer felt tip, but I couldn't find one I like, because you can kind of erase it a little bit. And now the step is to paint on the inside. Are we ready to show how to paint on the inside?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just using fast color. Because this is a small body, once you get a close-up of the brush, it's a very, very fine, inexpensive brush. Okay, it's almost kind of hard to see with what we're using to shoot. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of go in here. Okay, and I'm going to start on the face. Now, when you do the face, what you want to do is you kind of want to block out where the teeth are. Okay, right, and kind of where almost like the bottom of the chin is. And just kind of rough it out. I'm just kind of pulling paint from the cap. It doesn't really matter. Alright. I'm just going to kind of rough it out. And I'm taking very kind of freehand strokes. Okay, just to kind of rough out where the chin goes and where the teeth. Now for the tongue, I'm just going to kind of rough that out too. Okay. Very hard to see, I know. And the tongue can kind of go out like that. I'm going very lightly, and that way if I don't really love something that I've done, I can kind of paint over it a bit, right? So I'm kind of going in lightly first. See that? And the teeth, kind of making almost like triangles. That way there'll be a little bit of white or some other color and some black, and it'll have a really nice dramatic contrast. So I'm going with a very small brush.
Sorry about the shade.
That's okay. Is that working? Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that good? Very good. Here's my cameraman.
You could all see.
Very good. So you can see kind of teeth and maybe the tongue. And the tongue, they're making like a very thin, just kind of roughing that out. Okay, and so I'm going to actually just pour a little bit more paint into my cap. Okay,
Oh, and that like I record what type of paint.
Yeah, it's called fast color paint. Okay.
And here's a close-up of it.
Yeah, very good job. That will help people to show that it's just your very common and very available RC car paint, right? Okay, very good.
It's also a bit cheap.
I don't know about that, but it's a good value. I like this paint very much. So
That's good.
So now
It's not the best, but it's good enough.
I like it, but hey, you're the critic. So now I'm going back to the chin. Now that I've kind of roughed out the area, you kind of see I'm kind of almost got this chin area. Now I'm going to kind of put beard marks in, and you can get really kind of free and fun here. You can't really go wrong with beard marks. So this is, you kind of use this kind of loosen up and, you know, get your painting going, right? Painting should be kind of a loose, free process. That's kind of the whole fun of it, right? It's not like masking.
Sorry, my arm just cracked.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just popped.
So the whole point is just kind of thinking very basic black and white here. You know, dark and light. Block things out, almost like a silhouette. I'm going to emphasize some teeth there. Make the tongue a little more obvious. Right, and go heavier lines on the bottom. That will give it a sense of weight. Okay? Almost like a shadow line, or if you read comic books, you'll see that they'll put a heavier line on the bottom to kind of emphasize the weight. And I kind of use a basic curved stroke, almost like you're doing the letter C. Can you show that? Okay, let me get in there. So I almost do like a letter C on all of my strokes. A very simple brush stroke. It's very natural. Okay, this is how your wrist moves. Okay, and that way, even someone who doesn't have a ton of practice drawing will be very comfortable making this very basic C stroke. Okay, it's very natural. Okay, that's how your wrist works. Okay.
And that's what once happened to me.
It did?
Yeah, true.
Okay, all right. So let's show a little bit more painting, and then I'll do a little bit more, and we'll turn it off, and then we'll show some people some other stuff, okay?
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to go in here, and I'm just going to kind of do some of the beard stuff that kind of comes off the cheek area. Now I'm just taking bigger strokes. Now I'm going in the other way. Just like taking these really simple kind of strokes. And I'm letting the brush do a lot of work, and that's kind of what's nice is the brush itself, even this inexpensive brush, is just a very simple, what's it called, a micron brush. You can probably find this at any hobby store. Okay, there you go. In case,
And it's by Dynasty.
yeah, in case you care, but it's really not critical as long as it's a good cheap brush. Okay, the looseness kind of works with this type of art, right? With almost like an Asian influenced illustration that you might see in China or Korea. Koreanica? Ne?
No,
Yeah. All right.
that was just in Korean.
No, it's just in Korean because we speak a little
That's
bit.
super secret language.
Exactly. Hey, what you doing? You're hitting my
Sorry.
brush here. Hitting my brush here, kid. All right, so let's take a break. I'm going to paint a little bit more and we'll show some later. All right, so let's hit stop.